ahead.
Well, have you ever choked on something?
Yeah, I'm guilty of liking steak so much that I probably don't chew enough before I swallow it.
Well, I've choked on things. It's scary.
Yes.
Do something for me. Put your fingertip on your Adam's apple and swallow. Kind of uncomfortable.
Yes.
But you feel a lot of motion there.
A lot of things happening.
Yeah, there's a complex system of cartilage and muscles that's doing an important job. I'll show you up at the board.
Okay, I appreciate that.
When we swallow, we're not conscious of it most of the time, but right in here, there's an important structure called the epiglottis. And what that does is, as we're taking in food or water or swallowing something, it closes over the top of our airway. Our airway is in front, our esophagus is behind it. So the epiglottis is, helping this merging lane here function properly so that when we swallow food or water, it doesn't go into our lungs.
Right.
Occasionally, however, this malfunctions. Let's go back to the human airway. That's what we started with. What would be an obvious fix?
Well, to separate them so that they don't have a collision point there.
Right, you get rid of that merging lane.
Yeah, that's right.
So here's a simple way to do it. You have the air come in through your nose, which is in fact, in normal conditions, most of the air you breathe comes in that way.
Right.
And then food and water this way, and the choke point is gone. Now, think about it. Does that create more problems than it solves?
It might if you need to breathe through your mouth.
Let's consider some of the problems with this so-called better arrangement. What if you get a cold?
Yeah.
All gets stuffed up there.
Then you have to
now you got to go to the ICU.
Right.
It's a life-threatening illness. You've lost your backup pathway. What if you're playing basketball or ice hockey, or you've got to run for a bus and your O2 requirements go way up?
Yeah.
You got no extra pathway to get more air.
In fact, if you're a jogger or a runner or any kind of athlete, you do the majority of your breathing during those times through your mouth.
That's right. You see somebody,
that's right.
Busting to win a race, and
so there's no alternate source.
There's no alternate source. You've lost your backup pathway, which means your ability to respond to environmental demands has gone down.
Yeah.
How about what we're doing right now?
Talking.
And we're doing that with
air that comes out through our mouths.
We articulate speech with our lips, teeth, tongue, and so forth.
So the overlap is absolutely essential to function, isn't it?
It's essential for a basic human, feature, speech.
Yeah.
Once we get rid of our air coming out of our mouth, I think the best we can do is probably honk. We're not going to have a conversation like this.
All right.
All right, so what's the bottom line? Dr. Seuss biology makes for fun stories. It doesn't make for good science. When someone hears an argument saying, I could have done a better job building whatever, the airway, the panda's thumb, the human eye, our back, and so forth, you need to be very cautious in accepting that argument as a statement of science. Claims about optimality and suboptimality need to be supported by evidence. If I told you that my Honda Odyssey is, better for getting a load of groceries home than an Indy car, we can evaluate that. If I told you that the Indy car is better for going around a track, we can evaluate that in terms of a benchmark and evidence. So be very cautious when someone gives you one of these arguments and ask for the evidence.
I just think this is an amazing, you've given us an amazing gift in this program. God's an incredible designer, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And usually when we think there's a flaw, it's really that we don't have all the information. It isn't that God hasn't done a good job.
The flaw comes from our lack of understanding.
That's right.
And the deeper you dig into biology, when you examine everything that an organism needs to do and all the possibilities that could affect it, what looks to you like a bad design may turn out to be actually a very good design.
If you had a very passionate evolutionist sitting here in this chair instead of me, and they listened to what you just said, how would they answer that?
I think what they would say is give science more time.
Time is always a thing. Yeah.
Well,
we just haven't done what we've done enough yet.
There comes a point, however, when the question you're putting to nature needs to change. And if you're not listening to what nature is telling you, if I can personify her, she talks back to us.
Yes.
And you need to listen to what she's saying, and if you haven't solved your problem, try something different.
Yeah. And intelligent design, is that something different?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it opens up all kinds of new possibilities for understanding the nature of life.